Hello, Ndito Akwaibom. No come on for the meal. It's a song I tell you now. For my what take Baba. Okay, you know Akwaibom. First of all, you mean Bumbo. Okay, there's a program. Don't late. For me, we were trying to sort some things out, but everything is fine now. The program is back, and now wow, and then for me, your program I could Ndito Akwaibom radio program, but for so maybe for the person for I join this program. For join this program, I could Ndito Akwaibom program. It's the only program that connects from Ndito Akwaibom all over the world. And I'm saying ideas in a time going on with our Karanyan, Edoko, especially 8 years more, 8 years more, get again. I'm men on your 9 votes, came and get Okara, when the came for a Guna Mambo or Mafre, and taking in Ampo for cable, ye, and I mean onion do me. I'm saying Etna, then over my young, and Sendo was going to present this program. Me. Make a program on air. Again, I said, "My holiday," but the program is back from to Fanemi. It's also wanted to now enjoying me and Fanemi. Well, today we have Commissioner for Information as our guest, and there of Mario is the mouthpiece of Akwa Ibom. Okay, I work at Kiskin to make it Sammy and John Kiskin, but I introduce you very soon after Martin called me. Anyway, I need to Sammy tomorrow. Sambok, good afternoon, sir. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? I can't hear you, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes, sir. Yeah, I can hear you, sir. How are you, sir?
My phone, I'm good. I'm good. And you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm quite with my body.
Quite investment.
Oh, okay. So I'm free, but I'm free. Yeah, you come see the kibang, see the kissing against serious. Anyway, the way the Honorable Commissioner for Information has joined us now on the program live all the way from you. But when the phone line open, I want to say this is very important. Go straight to your point. I have to take you off so that another person no code. That's Kerero. When you are asking your question, make sure you ask a very polite question so that you too can get a very polite answer. You know, because Honorable Commissioner is here to talk to us and to answer our question, not exchanging words with anybody. So please try to make your question very polite and straightforward and meaningful as well. And I have to do something that concerns Akwa Ibom that will bring uforo, unko. And yeah, madam, we go on a break. When we come back, then yeah, program I tongo. So now do a phone call or a phone line I will open. We go on. Okay. Okay, welcome back. Sambok, welcome on the program. Okay, sir. Mbok, Tongo advocate program. No, it has been long now. The program Tongo is what I mean. Tongo Mbok.
Good now, my brother.
So what am I going to do? Back iPhone, or I'm going to do. Oh God. Okay. So For Yadi on the program today, a lot of people, MIS and Christian and Nomian, so many be me, man, go back to them. Over, give me the moya and you could when the phone line open and over fin or bang be me. Some what I want to start now is something that really concern us, concern everybody, even like we in diaspora. We also have concern regarding there's so much killing, okay, and there is nothing the Akwa Ibom state government is doing now. So much killing. From local government area in Akwa Ibom state. So want to like this thing have been going on, it keep on going on, but His Excellency is not doing anything about it, being the governor of the state.
Well, first and foremost, that is not true. If you see the security situation in Akwa Ibom state, probably is one of the best you can find in Nigeria. And to lend credence to that fact is that today, as we speak, Akwa Ibom state is the second largest destination of foreign direct investment in Nigeria, only after Lagos state. Now, today we have almost 7 functional industries, all of them from foreign investors. Now, if the environment, if the security situation wasn't good enough, these guys wouldn't come to Akwa Ibom state to invest. Don't forget that these are guys who are bringing their hard-earned foreign currencies to invest in Akwa Ibom state for the benefit of Akwa Ibom state people. And so the security situation is not as painted by opposition. And let me also say that if you put the security situation in Akwa Ibom state side by side with the security situation in some parts of other parts of Nigeria, from northeast to the central Nigeria, you would see that Akwa Ibom state is a very, very safe place. Yes, there are pockets of issues. Even in America, even in the part of the world where you are, there are pockets of issues. There are pockets of people who just who wake up one morning and decide to ferment trouble. Yes, Ukanafon has been a trouble spot in Akwa Ibom state, but the government has firmly dealt with it within the ambit of its powers. Don't forget also that the security situation in a country is primarily, let me repeat, primarily the responsibility of the federal government. Because who controls the security agencies? The federal government of Nigeria. And so Akwa Ibom state does not have an Akwa Ibom police, does not have an Akwa Ibom army, does not have an Akwa Ibom whatever armed forces or navy. Akwa Ibom state relies on Nigerian police, relies on Nigerian army, relies on Nigerian navy for security. So primarily the security situation in any part of Nigeria is the responsibility of the federal government. Be that as it may, governments in different parts of the country do the best they can within the ambit of what the law allows them to do. In Akwa Ibom state, we have done what we needed to do, from supporting and financing and promoting the operations of the 3 arms of the armed forces in Nigeria. And if you also look back, just 2 or 3 days, just last Friday, the government of Akwa Ibom state went to Etimekpo to donate relief materials to victims of the security situation. Now, if it was that bad, that wouldn't have happened. So the security situation is being amplified. And let me also say something clearly. Now, ask yourself one question, honest question. These are so-called bandits, these are so-called young people who are jobless, who are homeless, yet they have sophisticated rifles, they have bullets. Who supplies them the ammunition? Something tells us that there's more to it than meets the eye. So the government is saying to people that, look, rest assured, government is doing its best. But government is also calling us on every well-meaning person to also let's look at ourselves in the mirror, to tell ourselves, look, if, for instance, you are directly or indirectly promoting this thing for selfish interest, for political interest, begin to look at yourself in the mirror. What environment, what society are you building for your children? Just a few weeks ago, the opposition political party in the state held a rally where one of their aspirants was presented with guns and daggers in front of national TV. And then the question you ask yourself, if you draw an analogy to say, look, for instance, Edna, my son's birthday, and you come to give my son a gift, birthday gift, and what you give my son is guns and daggers, how do you think? How do you think I'll feel? You understand? It means that you're asking my son that violence is the way to go. So everyone in Nigeria, and to see that, look, the government is doing its best, but hey, people should also refrain from fueling, from stoking the fire for selfish interest.
Yeah, because when I heard about it, I said some video and pictures, Ekesenke, about the killing. Like the remember Sokawodo, these are jobless people. More uto kama say kama enam ewuro wuro memo etorke mo. Fine. And then if you ask them, like this one webo federal government, state government election, throw this, throw that, they say produce all those things, but everything is still that so bounce on like Utomiba ke Akwaibom, there's no job. I know it's a national stamp everything, because even in Nigeria, you panic or Utomiba ke you don't okay Akwaibom, but as a state governor, I mean, I still believe that there's something and can make them to reduce the killing in that particular area. Because now, what again, you went there to donate something. What did you donate?
Well, food stuff. Now, let me also respond first to talk about what government should do to reduce the killing. Like I said earlier, Akwa Ibom State government does not have Akwa Ibom State Police Force. Akwa Ibom State government does not have Akwa Ibom Army, does not have Akwa Ibom Navy. So we rely solely on the support from the Nigerian Army, from the Nigerian Navy. Now, yes, I must also say that the forces, the establishment of these armed forces within the sector of Akwa Ibom State has received massive backing from government of Akwa Ibom State, and they have also responded to the best of their ability. If you flash back, the kingpin of the problem in Okanafon was taken out, I think, early this year. The armed forces, the police apprehended him and took him out earlier in the year. His next in command was also apprehended, which means that we've gone a step further. But again, these are also people that ordinarily, if there were no unseen hands behind this, it would have been easier to deal with. Now, that's why the government is constantly appealing to people to say, look, let's forget selfish interest. Development of Akwa Ibom State is paramount. The lives of people in Akwa Ibom State is paramount. You also talked about job creation. Let me say that in 2015, when today's government came on board, this government reeled out a 5-point agenda. And that 5-point agenda talked about job creation, wealth creation, poverty alleviation, infrastructure consolidation and expansion, political and economic solution. Now remember, this government also said that this 5-point agenda will be anchored on a 3-point premise, which is industrialization, tourism, and agriculture. Why did we choose agriculture for instance? At 2015, a cup of gari, which is the staple food in Akwa Ibom State, was going for 200 naira per cup of gari. The question is asked, how many people could afford that? Now today, a cup of gari in Akwa Ibom State, for 200 naira, you buy between 8 to 12 cups of gari. That's just fast forwarding 3 years up front. Now, what did government do? Government did not come out with a price legislation. Government did not come out with a price control board. Government simply applied basic laws of economics, laws of demand and supply. And here, what did government do? Government encouraged people to go back to farming, encouraged people to chop down those hibiscus flowers, those Aizora flowers, and begin to plant economic trees and cash crops. Now, increasingly, for students of economics, you realize that when supply outweighs demand, it will force down the prices. Now, today we can proudly tell ourselves, using gari as an example, because there's a flood of supply in the market, the price of gari has come down from 200 naira a cup. Now you have 12 cups of gari for the same 200 naira. Now that has worked to the largest extent. If you go down the lane, you talk about industrialization, you talked about job creation and wealth job creation, and you say there are no jobs in Akwa Ibom State. There are no jobs in Nigeria. impact. But hey, what has government done? Government did not say, Akwa State government did not say it was going to create jobs within civil service structure, because hey, there's only a limit to where you can create jobs within the civil service structure, because you have statutory allocation. And so what did government do? Government said, look, how did China become a destination for businessmen, destination for tourists, destination for investment? How did Singapore move from being a backwater economy to a frontline economy in the world, despite their land size, despite their population size? How did South Africa suddenly overtake Nigeria as the economic power of Africa? Basic things happen. Now, if you look at, let's take China for instance, there were times where made in Aba competed favorably with made in China. At that time, it was made in Taiwan. Today, made in Aba has disappeared. Today, Nigeria, the whole world is heading to China for almost everything. And so what did government do? Government said, okay, look, if you look at the landscape of Nigeria as a country, there are several abandoned industrial endeavors dotting the landscape of Nigeria. And this common reason that you find flying out of those is simple, that these industries were set up, run, and managed as extended arms of government parastatal. And so when you run an industry or a business entity as an extended arm of government parastatal, what happens is simply, the bureaucratic bottlenecks of government will come into play. That means you can't compete favorably. You can't become competitive in your pricing, even in terms of your business strategy. Now, the next leg of challenge you're going to face is that if the government that believed in that structure takes this backseat, the next government does not believe, that industrial endeavor goes comatose. And so, learning from those experiences, we said, okay, how come the Chinese have become the frontline economic power of the world in terms of business and entrepreneurship? Simply, they allowed the private sector to drive the economy. And by driving that, it means that companies were set up by private investors with government enabling environment to drive those entities, and those companies could run, and there's competitive pricing. Now, Akwa Ibom State government decided, okay, look, for us to drive our industrialization effort, we needed to first create an enabling environment for investors. Enabling environment means there must be good road network and infrastructure. Enabling environment means that there must be accessibility. That's why today Akwa Ibom State is the only state in Nigeria that owns, manages, and runs its airport 100% from state funding. Yet we are the highest oil producer in Nigeria. We contribute the highest amount to the economic pulse of Nigeria. Yet our airport is 100% owned and maintained by state government. Today, Akwa Ibom State, the highest oil producer in Nigeria, highest contributor of income to Nigerian pulse, does not have one federal government project to show as being a contribution of federal government to Akwa Ibom State. And on top of that, federal government of Nigeria is owing Akwa Ibom State huge sums of money, running into billions of naira from projects that should have been federal government projects that the state government embarked on because of the impact on its people on behalf of federal government, expecting refunds. Those refunds haven't come yet. Now, you look at fast forward that, you now ask yourself, so how do we ensure that there's job creation? How do we ensure that there's this wealth creation? If you go to federal civil service, there are laws in the Nigerian constitution that enables or regulates how you employ, how many you can employ, at what time you can employ, and even how much you pay. Now, so Akwa Ibom State government said, okay, look, industrialization, we're going to go out to the world. Look at opportunities. Look at where there are loopholes. Look at where there are gaps, and begin to say, okay, look, how can we attract people to come from, bring their technology, bring their finances? We give them that enabling environment, which I had earlier listed, and let them set up these industries and run from Akwa Ibom State to create job opportunities, to create wealth, and to alleviate poverty, and then to also impact on the local communities. So today, as we speak, Akwa Ibom State is home to Africa's largest syringe manufacturing company. Now, that syringe, if you also understand, if you do a research, you see that Nigeria as a country consumes 6 billion syringes per annum. Nigeria as a country spends an average of over $30 million per annum importing syringes. Now, look back also, the only syringe manufacturing factory in Africa before the one in Akwa Ibom State is in South Africa. Now, that syringe manufacturing company has only a capacity of 95 million syringes per annum, which is a far cry from what Nigeria demands. So it means that Nigeria imports part of the syringes from South Africa and part from the rest of the world. Now, what that tells us as a business people, as a business government, business-oriented government, there's a huge opportunity there. It means if you found a guy who has that technology, who has the finances to come to set up that factory with our supporting enabling environment, which is power, infrastructure, roads, security, and of course, government policy, and then transparency, it means that we can eat into the market and gradually take over the market. So today we have a syringe factory, which is the largest in Africa, with a capacity of 400 million syringes per annum. Now that is in full flight. Now that syringe factory is already built. It's owned by some Turkish investors who have come in. They've set up that factory with their technology. They've employed their own people. They've trained their own people. And they are also doing business with their own people. If you look at the value chain associated with that, from distributorship to supplies to impact on the community, that is job creation, that's wealth creation. Go down the road a few kilometers, you will find the best metering factory in Nigeria. Don't forget that a few years ago, Nigeria had moved into a position where it wanted to implement full prepaid metering solutions in Nigeria. Now, that didn't take off fully. The reason is simple. Those meters needed to be imported. And then in an era where the exchange rate is epileptic, the exchange rate dies and wakes up somersaults at will, it became almost impossible to meet that deadline. That deadline was shifted several times. So today, in Akwa Ibom State, we have a digital metering factories that produces prepaid meters. It means that in a few years' time, the issues of prepaid meters, PHCN, and all the discos will be able to actively and effectively measure what is consumed. Move down the road. You understand that Akwa Ibom State is an economy that is, for a long time, has been driven by oil revenue. Down the road, Akwa Ibom State government is also in the process of setting up a coconut refinery. Now, okay. Why coconut refinery? Sorry?
Yeah, Commissioner Mbok, let me come in there. I've listened to you make up now say this factory of syringe factory more about another coconut country factory more about another factory more about. But all these factories ask for work because I heard some majority of people saying that.
Let me answer a question. Let me answer a question, Edna, straight. Now, I can send you a link. I can send you a video of the factories in motion. And let me also say something clearly. These factories are not built by government. Okay? These factories are brought by investors. Let me give you an example. The fertilizer factory, which we just commissioned in May. That factory, the investor is an Akwa Ibom son who lived and worked almost all his life in the United States of America. He earned decent income. He could have lived in the United States of America, lived a luxury life, and don't care what happens back home. Now, because he has the idea, has the finances, has the technology, he thinks that, oh, this government is trustworthy. He can come home and set up this factory, repatriate his hard-earned income to the economy of the state. And to whose benefit? To the employment benefit of Akwa Ibom people, to the value chain creation for Akwa Ibom people. Now, let's ask ourselves one question, one logical question. Why would any government, would anybody think that a government will come and say, oh, there's a factory and then there's no factory? Government was not under any compulsion to build factories. Government was not under any compulsion to say, oh, we want to set up this. What government has done is said, look, we are going to bring industrialization. Government did not say we are going to bring this, that. What we do is go into the world, use our business acumen to say, okay, where are the opportunities? Like I spent time to explain to you the rationale syringe factory. For each of those industries, I can spend the next 1 hour in details the rationale behind those factories. And then if you also want to do a tour, opposition have always said, oh, look, it's not true, it's important to get. And I've challenged them before. I said, look, if you say it's not true, whatever part of it will come to Akwa Ibom State. Now we have a deal. You come to Akwa, if you insist that it's not true, I insist, come to Akwa Ibom State at your own expense. Now, if we take a tour, that tour, I will stream it live on the internet. And I'll get my local TV station, national TV, to beam it live so the world can see. If we get there and then it turns out that, oh, what you thought that it wasn't true is okay, then I'll refund all your expenses. Now, if you come and then you can see that, hey, those industries are in full flight, then of course you take care of yourself. I've thrown that challenge over and over again. Not one person has responded. So here again, and now through that challenge, I say, look, if anybody thinks that any of those industries I have mentioned, are not in full flight, I challenge that person to come and say, I'll stream it, get it on this show. I'll also get it on national TV, so that we'll take it live. It won't be recorded, so nobody will say, oh, nobody's playing game. It will be beamed live on the internet, beamed live on national TV for anybody to see. I can also send you a video that we've done, that we've packaged some of these industries, the way they've worked, and even the impact on the community. Now, what are we doing? Now, we are going to a situation where the typical Akwa Ibom man must not be a baker anymore. Today, we're not teaching Akwa Ibom people how to bake for fish. We are teaching them to fish. We're not giving them fish. The idea is that, see, if we continue the way we had continued, where, the culture, like the commissioner, do you understand? We are saying for something, I say, okay, what's the devil? I'd rather teach them. So I don't know if you get my point.
Okay, Commissioner, let me come in India. What happened to Tropicana? Because I also heard that Kemai commissioned that Tropicana. What happened? Is it working now?
Well, I'm not aware. I'm not aware that Tropicana was commissioned. I don't know who commissioned it. In different parts. Tropicana is not just a hotel entertainment center. Tropicana has a hotel. It has the dry park. It has the entertainment complex. It has the conference hall. Now, the only part of that entire complex, gamut of complex that is functioning before we took over, is the part where you have the entertainment center, where Silverbird is managing the cinema, and then there are some shops there. So I don't know which part you are referring to.
Okay, let's jump now to allocation.
Hotel was never ready.
Allocation. During this week, make the federal government and then the state government are saying, then why should they cut the money? Then the talk Akwaibom raise concern. Well, even if they can say no, the economy, can we see Kamaki number one? They may been informed. Example, if you go to like Udoganam, Nsirubium, can this read on absolutely nothing. And then that this barrister in Ibom, Amasu Commissioner for Education on the 19th of July 2018, High Court the suit number, which is HU/MISC/316/2008. So, did you want to throw light into that? Why would he?
Okay, well, I'm very happy. I'm very happy, Edna, that you're asking this question. Now, let me go back first. Let me take put Nigeria in context. Nigeria as a country from independence, dotting every part of Nigeria, we have dilapidated schools. Since independence, the educational sector has suffered epilepsy over and over and over again, not just at Akwa Ibom State. Even in Lagos State, with the enormous resources that they have, you still have dilapidated schools. So it's not that the problem is not localized to Akwa Ibom State. Then let's come back home to Akwa Ibom State. Akwa Ibom State today has over 2,000 schools. Akwa Ibom State today is one of the few states in Nigeria where basic education is free and compulsory. What do I mean by that? Education in primary school is free. Education in secondary school is free. And then on top of that, the government of Akwa Ibom State spends an average of 600 million naira per annum paying for WAEC fees for indigents. Now, what that means is that no Akwa Ibom child will have an excuse not to at least have a WAEC certificate.
So sorry, Commissioner, let me cut you. So are you saying that because Akwa Ibom State pay call for WAEC and this, that means they shouldn't buy chair or books or blackboard?
Primary school. Hold on. Hello, hold on. I'm coming. Hold on. I started by giving a background. Okay. Now that is on the one count. So I'm giving a background. Maybe I don't give a background, you won't understand. Now let me give it. Now that is on the one count. Now today, Akwa Ibom State as a state has over 2,000 private schools. How many did I say? 2,000, right?
2,000 private schools.
Now, is it possible that any government anywhere in the world can fix 2,000 schools in 3 years in these economic times? That's one question for you. Now, the next stop is that as we speak, What did this government do? This government came in and realized that, look, since independence, Nigeria as a country has been in total disarray in terms of educational infrastructure. Even the quality of education has a question mark. So government decided, look, it was going to confront this head on. Now there are different sides to it. First is infrastructure, second is quality, and then third is quantity. Now, first, infrastructure is the major challenge. First, these children must have where to sit and attend lectures. And we have over 2,000 schools. And this government decided, look, there's no way in the world that you can have resources to fix 2,000 schools in 3 years. Across each of these schools have maybe 4, 5, 6 blocks. So government decided, look, it's going to have a phased implementation plan. What did we do? We first took stock of all the schools, where they are and what challenges they have. And then we decided that, look, we are going to do it in phases. As we speak, 208 of those schools have been sorted out. In this is now. And then as we speak, another 200 or so are under one state of reconstruction or one state of renovation. As we speak, I can take you to each of those schools. Now, the reality is that add that 200 to 200, that's 400. That's a far cry from the numbers that we have in 3 years. So reality is that, hey, it's a continuous. One thing is clear. This government has a roadmap to implementing these infrastructural reforms that dates back to 30 years of Akwa Ibom State's creation. It didn't start in 3 years. So no government can tell you that it can fix this in 3 years. And so we have done that, and it's a continuous, as we speak. And if you come to Nigeria, I can take you to schools where at every point in time in the last 3 years in Akwa Ibom State, one school or the other is undergoing renovation or reconstruction. What opposition would do is that they simply go to the ones that, oh, we haven't gotten there yet, and they take the picture and say, oh, that's the general picture. If you also realize that, look, it took 30 years for us to get to this decay, 30 years plus before its creation of Akwa Ibom State, you understand the enormous challenge that we have and what we have done. You also appreciate what this government has done in just 3 years. If successive governments had tackled what we have done, I can proudly beat my chest that within another 3 months, we would have done 400. If successive governments had done 400 in every 3 years, do you think we would have had this challenge? The answer is no. So rather than lampoon government, we should rather give government applause. Beyond infrastructure, you talk about chairs and seats. Let me also give you that example. Akwa Ibom State runs free and compulsory basic education. The moment we started that free and compulsory basic education, what happens? The number of students in those schools grew up. Now we're excited and thinking, oh, look, we have more people coming in. But guess what? Over 40% are non-indigenous of Akwa Ibom State. Children from neighboring states coming to take advantage in states where they don't have free and compulsory basic education. So suddenly a school like West Itam that originally had a population of less than 1,000, overnight, the school had a population of 4,000. Now, from less than 1,000 to 4,000, it is not rocket science that it's practically impossible to quickly get to a point where you can overhaul and provide amenities to sort out that problem. And what has this government done? This government has mostly embarked on a process where every day in this state, desks and chairs are delivered to schools. And I've gone on air to say before that, look, I saw some pictures on internet. I think comprehensive secondary school Ibiakwishet, and then secondary school Ikorokubo of what. And they showed children sitting on schools. And I drove instantly to those locations. And I found that lo and behold, yes, it was true. And I confronted the contractor and said, hey, bros, you were given this contract 9 months ago. What is the issue? He says, look, it takes time to produce these chairs because they are produced.
I can't hear the commissioner again. Hello. Hello. I can't hear the commissioner again. I think his voice has gone off. Well, okay. We are still trying to connect to Commissioner for information back on the program. I believe that oh for no faith you for don't Ndito Akwaibom make banguto make up see commissioner tang. So get ready for your question because very soon the phone line will be open. Like I said, when you are asking your question, make sure that you ask a polite question so that phone you a polite answer. But make sure your question are those short. So you have to condone on one thing. I didn't know question no more. Okay. Hello, sir. Can you hear me now? Hello. I've lost contact with the commissioner. I can't really hear him. Hello. Oh, all right. Well, the commissioner are just disconnected. So very soon now we're going to connect with him, and soon as you get connected, you may connect in the screen. Just let me try. While we wait, can we go on a short break?
Na na na, I've been around the world, I've seen a lot of places. I come discover, say there's no place like home. They call me Mish, hey, African wonder. A sunny day in New York City in an African restaurant. I was waiting for my order, it was taking like forever. See this white Oyibo man, he was pushing through the line. Oga waiting, you they find Oyibo Allah. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Give me curry and pussy made in Nigeria. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Amala, ewedu, tuwo, see, I like women that are made in Nigeria. See my fine baby, she's made in Nigeria. You don't know what you have, you lose it, God forbid. Sweet love, see Nigeria beautiful, Nigeria know that too. Nigeria like to hustle, Nigeria know that tire. Nigeria get to talent, Nigeria milk and honey, Nigeria feel my below. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Give me curry and pussy made in Nigeria. Give me something that is made in Nigeria. Give me something that is made in Nigeria.
Oh. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, okay, sir. Because we lost contact.
I think it's the network. The network is epileptic.
Oh, yeah. Let me quickly ask you a question. You were saying something. Did you want to finish what you were saying, Bo?
Okay, well, I was talking about the state of education. Yeah. And then I was talking about, I gave you an example of schools that I saw online, and then we had to give them the chairs. The chairs were approved over 9 months ago. Of course, it takes time to produce and then to deploy them. And so to buttress the point that this government is transparent, 2 pictures I saw on the internet, and same day I went to those schools and made sure they gave them chairs. So if you look at the problem with education, it's not because government is not doing what it's to do. The problem with education in Akwa Ibom State dates back to pre-independence in Nigeria. The problem with education dates back to 30 years of creation of Akwa Ibom State going to 31. And so, and the thing I said clearly was that if successive governments had fixed education, had fixed the educational infrastructure, at least 400 of them, of class blocks or schools, in every 3 years, like this government has done, it means that by now we'll have first-class educational facilities. So it is erroneous for anybody to say that. Like I said, we have over 2,000 schools. We fixed about 400 of them now. So it is practically impossible that anybody, any government anywhere in the world, not in the United States of America, will sort out 2,000 schools in 3 years.
Okay. Because I'm about to open the phone line now. Can we have the calling phone line on numbers on the screen, please? Because they have been asking me, open the phone line, what number to call, what number to call. Commissioner is in the house.
I'm here, yeah. Live and direct.
Okay, while we still wait for the number to come on the screen, I can call the number. The number to call is 0044 2030 23556. If you want to call, repeat the number 0044. Okay, the number, if you look at the screen, the number is now on the screen now. That's the number to call if you want to speak or ask Honorable Commissioner for information question. And then, like I said, please, when you call, make sure that you make your question very brief, so that no another woman of on code number be me. Well, okay, and the roll line. There's a number on the screen now for you to call. They keep asking me number. But number more by that okay screen bar for code, then ask question. Then while we wait for anybody to call, I hope so. Commissioner, can you tell us a little bit about the internet? I think Mark of Nabante. Well, when I'm not sure of something, I have to say bande. Okay, I lay cable for internet last week here. So I don't understand what was that. Make it do for internet, make it do for individual or for the public. Yeah, okay. So I just want you to shine a little bit lights, get that area.
Secondary healthcare facilities in the state. If you remember that when Governor David Emmanuel came on board, our cardinal objective was that because we are driving industrialization, tourism, and agriculture, you can't drive these three that form the tripod without good healthcare. Tourists will need a good healthcare facility. Industrialists will need good healthcare facilities. So we've zeroed in on secondary healthcare facilities. So as we speak today, a Tinan hospital that used to be a games reserve where reptiles used to fight patients is now a first-class hospital. Ikono has become a first-class hospital that was a games reserve also. In fact, when we went to start renovation of Ikono Hospital, we killed over 30 games within the hospital premises. Ikono Koro, Itukumbang, Emmanuel Hospital, all of those have been fixed. Now, beyond that, what is government trying to do? We are also aiming at driving down the cost of medical services. And one way to do that is to find a way of linking these secondary to a central. And we started that with Ikono Hospital, as we speak, is the first hospital within the South-South region that is fully computerized. Now, we are not going to only stop there. We are going to link Ikono with the Tinan, with the Korokoro, with the Tukumbang, with the Emmanuel Hospital, with every other hospital that is within that framework. Okay. And to do
it's like we have a caller on the line. Let's see who is there.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello, caller. Can you hear us? Okay. Well, you can call back. The WhatsApp is on now, so you can call the WhatsApp now. You can also call Facebook Messenger if you can. I can still put you through. So, like 3 ways of call now, so they will not say they didn't allow you to speak to Honorable Commissioner. Okay, sir. But go ahead.
Okay, so like I was saying, because the goal of government is to reduce the cost of Medicare within that secondary healthcare sector, there's a need to link these hospitals such that if, for instance, Edna, you go to a tenant hospital and they take your biodata and they have them recorded. Now, when you go to a tenant hospital, for instance, you don't need to repeat that process because already your data has been captured in the central registry of the hospital management in the state. And so usually what happens before now is that if you go to a tenant, you register and they take your biodata, you pay some money. And then for some reason you find yourself in Ikoro hospital, you have to pay another amount of money, register and start the same process all over again. One, that costs money. Two, that increases the service time to provide medical services to that patient, which could be injurious to the life of that patient. So we are saying to ourselves, look, let's computerize this process so that when you go to Ikoro, your biodata is captured. If you go to a tenant, once you mention your card number, your number or name, by point of the computer, all your data will come down on the screen. So to achieve that, we have done a pilot in a Ikoro hospital where it is fully computerized now. The services, the medical records in Ikoro hospital is the first within that is computerized. We have to deploy it, link Ikoro to the rest of the hospital. Now, for you to do that, we need to have a fiber optic line. Now, we've also gone a step further to realize that, look, because of the high quality roads we've constructed, today we've constructed over 1,000 kilometers high-grade roads, economic roads, linking economic nerve center in the state. We can't go digging those roads and cutting those roads like you've seen in the past where roads are being constructed in Nigeria and then the roads are being dissected because they want to lay pipelines as devils. So we've now gone to the line of technology to have a fiber optic mechanism that these pipes are channeled underground without disrupting the flow of the environment. And that's what we signed an MOU, which we launched the other day that you heard. So the fiber optic line you are seeing is intended to link this hospital network so that we can have a comprehensive hospital network and hospital data and records that is controlled centrally. That's what we've seen us do.
Okay.
And then, like I said also, the aim of this government is eventually to move the capital city to a smart city where today we have a problem. Oil is being drilled from Nigeria, yet you don't have one international oil company that resides in Akwa State. Oil is drilled from Akwa State, yet NNPC does not have one presence in Akwa State. The reason that everybody has given that, there are no facilities, there are no good equipment, for us to come migrate here. Akwa State government has said, okay, look, if that is the issue, we are going to provide that enabling environment, which we talked about. First, infrastructure. First, you're going to have smart city where you can have that fiber optics that can link you up. And then beyond that, we are also building a 21-story smart building.
Sorry, Commissioner, I think we have a caller on the line. Hello? Okay. Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Good evening, Ndito Akwaibom.
Good evening. I'm ask you here to.
Can you hear me?
He's very faint, to be honest.
Can you hear me, please?
Well, we are barely hear you, but go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello? We can hear you. Can you speak up? Okay. Call back. I don't know what's wrong today. If you can't call back, just send me your question, and then I will ask the Honorable Commissioner. Like, I got some question here already. Commissioner, let me start asking you. Somebody wants to find out why our governor suspend the appointment of customary court members.
Hello? I didn't hear you well.
Yeah, somebody wants to ask, may our governor has suspend the appointment of the customary court members?
Well, let me say that clearly, that this government has, as one of its cardinal objectives, quality, transparency, accountability, and integrity. Now, beyond that, you find out that if you rewind in 2015, when this government came on board, there were 5,000 teachers that were employed without going through due process. And this government said, look, we want to be known for something. Due process must be strictly adhered to. And then we had to rewind and
you got a call. Just hold on, caller. We'll put you through. Let Commissioner answer the question.
Yeah, just like of the teaching where we had to follow due process. This government believes that there must be due process followed. To the latter thing, it does. Why there's a senior special assistant on due process, technical matters and due process in this. Now we want to set standard. We want to become that leading development in Nigeria. And so you find that everything we do from employment to processes to setting up things, we want to follow international best standards and best practices.
Okay. Another person, I want to you want to find out when sit down teacher see the bang phone with this government we don't mean the government you are serving under every song for teachers my there's no teachers
we employed 3,000 teachers. We just employed 3,000. Now, let me also say about teachers. We won't just employ teachers. We are not looking for just one. We are looking to employ the kind of teachers that can teach your children, my children, and everybody's children. Like I'm talking about the 5,000 teachers which we have.
Hello?
Okay, I think we got the call now.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Hello?
Yeah, I think we can hear you very loud and clear now. But can you tell us what is your name and where are you calling from?
Hello?
We can hear you. Can you? Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear us now? Make a word. You are calling from Facebook Messenger. Maybe check your earpiece. Maybe there's a problem. Because we can hear you here very clear. Hello? Well, I have to put you off now. Sorry about that, Honorable Commissioner Mbok. Can you go ahead? We can't hear him now, he's frozen. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, can you hear me loud and clear? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, let me see when Honorable Commissioner can come in. Honorable Commissioner, please, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you, sister.
Okay. Caller, can you tell us what is your name? I could get more.
Please, I'm Mr. Indy calling from Germany.
Okay, Mr. calling from Germany. Okay. Do you have a question for the Honorable Commissioner?
I have only one question here because you said that we should not ask more questions.
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't ask more questions. I say ask, but make it brief.
Okay. Sir, hello, my Honorable Commissioner. I'm greeting of.
I greet you, sir. Hello, sir.
My God, this is fucked up, man. Hello?
And we can hear you. So keep on talking. Honorable Commissioner is hearing you as well.
I'm not hearing him, please. Please, hello, I'm greeting, sir. Hello, sir.
I greet you, sir. How is Germany? Hello?
I don't hear him. Hello?
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Wait, Andy, Honorable Commissioner can hear you very well. You can maybe you can put on your maybe you want to come and watch the program a little bit so that I can cope.
My system is down, so I'm just using my phone now to call.
Okay, when you use the phone to now do call, it depends on what you are watching the program on. Because we can hear you here, our guests can hear you as well.
Okay, let me just ask the question. Let me ask the question.
Okay.
He said something. He said something that really bothered me over here. He said something that the previous government did not take any did not do anything in our school. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
That he said something that the previous government did not do something in our school. But the same PDP was in the regional government. So why him now is against the last government, please?
Is that your first question?
Hello.
Is that my question?
Okay. What is the second one?
I don't have a second one.
Okay, that's the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna put you off now so that commissioner can answer you, so somebody else can call in as well.
There's no problem, man.
Okay. Okay, honorable commissioner.
Hello. Oh, okay. Now, if you remember when I started, I said the problem of education in Nigeria dates back to independence. Since independence in 1960, we have had different governments. PDP has just been here only 16 years. Speech about it. It didn't start 20 years ago. It didn't start 16 years ago. It started way back on independence. And it cuts across every segment, every nook and cranny of this country. So it's erroneous for anybody to say, oh, the PDP government has done its best. Come to Akwa Ibom State, 16 years before now. Where was Akwa Ibom? Rewind or fast forward 16 years plus the 3 years of Governor Ndito Akwaibom. Where is Akwa Ibom State? Now, those are the indices begin to measure performance of a political party or the government by a political party. I can tell you that PDP, from records available, from all available indices, has done exceedingly well, beyond the imagination of anyone that you could think of. Hello?
Okay, this I'm hearing you. I'm trying to get down the question. You're sending a question. Okay.
So I guess I've answered that. See, this is not just a 16-year affair. PDP has been here 16 plus 3. Now Nigeria is from independence. You calculate Nigeria is approaching 50 or over 50.
Okay.
So the problem is not just a 16-year-old problem. The problem dates back to.
Sorry, Commissioner. I think we have a caller on the line. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Okay, very clear now. Okay.
Okay.
What's your name? I could get Mombo Kerere.
Okay. My name is Andy Rowland. I'm calling from United States of America.
Okay.
Honorable Commissioner, how are you? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. How are you doing?
About you?
How you doing, bro? Idioko.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, good. Commissioner, I've listened to you interestingly, but I just want to hear me now and you're very clear and straight. You see, you are a commissioner of information and you have every right to defend the state.
Please, if somebody,
we that have been watching the government, we that have been watching the government knows that what you are talking about on paper is very good, but on reality is not. The reason is, I'm going to tell you the truth, or nothing but the truth, whether you will accept it or not. I personally don't agree on issues like, first, you mentioned Singapore. Before Singapore could reach the stage they are reaching now, a lot of people had to be killed because of corruption. And I say in the same vein, a lot of people have to be killed in Akwa Ibom to stamp out corruption for us to make progress. But in as much as we are not on that draconian law, that will be possible. But however, let me talk with electricity. Now, the electricity is what holds any developmental ground for development. I want to use this opportunity, Edna, if you excuse me, so that Akwa Ibom worldwide can listen to this. I saw in Akwa Ibom where they signed a 1 million for electricity, because you are talking about strings, the string industry and the meter industry. If you are assembling or you are manufacturing a meter industry and a string, and with the proportion of what you said, the products have been, the biggest in Africa. My question is, what propelled that industry? Are you using generator? Are you using what to do that? That is number one. Number two, if you put electricity, which you just said you signed with Rhino, the Rhino is saying they are bringing 100 billion or $1 billion in mobility to add 500 million to that. My question is, why will you reject a company I brought from California on renewable energy, which is basically free to invest in Akwa Ibom, and then you go in to spend the hard-earned money of a 500 million to be a contribution of Mobile to set up electricity? Number two, you talk about security. The governor is the chief security officer, and there is no justification that some elements, some people, political talks in a certain local government has the power more than the governor of a state. And when they said there are some other hands behind, you wonder what hand is bigger than no citizen can quite boom. I don't bigger than the governor, His Excellency Emmanuel. It has the authority to do on security, to flush out, to delete by going all out. I did flush out Monobusi, Iwurubugu Kanafon, and whichever area to make. So the idea of they are trying is not enough justification. I did look at the governor is in charge of the security. Number three, we're talking about industrialization. How are you going to industrialize the state when you don't have electricity? What is going to propel the industrialization if not electricity? So I want you to tell us explicitly about these basic issues. Now, when we talk about education, I'm sorry, which is the number 4, you can now say the government has done this, have done that. Well, I do not want to argue with you, but I will tell you that the Ndito Akwaibom program, they watch this program from Australia, from everywhere, and as such, as a group that is concerned about the welfare of the state, Indian food soldiers to keep us live brief, no more what you are. But in terms of education, we have seen dilapidated buildings and schools being exhibited in some other local government. So when you come out and do, you can only say that in favor of the government. But in reality, what you are saying is not acceptable by us. And I expect you to tell us right here, if you have taken care of those things, what happened to those dilapidated buildings in a place like Ikono? What happened to the primary school in there?
And
Thank you.
Okay, all right, you finish. I think the Honorable Commissioner has gone off the screen. Let's find out what's going on. Yes. Okay. Thank you, caller. Why back to go listen? Keep on watching the program. Can we go on musical break while we try to find out what happened, because the Honorable Commissioner is back screen it out.
Oh.
Okay, is back. Okay, that was the caller. Honorable Commissioner, please, do you have a response to the question the caller ask.
Well, he gave me a project assignment to answer 4 or 5 questions. But I hope you have time because I'm going to take each of them one by one in detail. And I hope nobody's going to interrupt. Now, let me start first by econometrics.
I'm not going to interrupt. You have to finish.
Oh, okay. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, Commissioner.
Okay, let me start from... Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Now, electricity. Nigeria as a country, since independence, has been grappling with the challenges of electricity. That is well documented. Now, 2 governments ago in Akwa Ibom State, we set machinery in motion to build Ibom power plant. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Hello? Okay, great. We said the 2 governments ago in Akwa Ibom State started the process of building an Ibom power plant. The idea of that Ibom power plant was to supplement the efforts of federal government in generating electricity. That Ibom power plant has come to stay and is in full production. However, Akwa Ibom State government nor any state in Nigeria does not have control of the distribution facilities. That is why you have the Transmission Company of Nigeria and then all the other the DISCOs, the distribution companies of Nigeria. So we have produced electricity. As we speak, quoting Transmission Company of Nigeria, only 40% of electricity produced, generated at Ibom power plant is being evacuated. That tells us that if Transmission Company of Nigeria, which is not an Akwa Ibom company, was able to evacuate even 80% of that, it means the whole of South region will have enough electricity to last us 24/7. Now, why are they not able to evacuate electricity? Aging transmission lines, aging facilities, aging distribution network. As a state, because we are looking at industrialization, you can't industrialize without electricity. You can't industrialize without having good electricity network. We decided that, look, what do? We needed to find a midway of evacuating light, the power generated from those power plants, closest in wholesale, closest to required, where we can manage the distribution better. And then we can isolate challenges and solve them. And so last year, July last year, we set up an injector station, what you call, I'm sure the last caller understands what an injector station means. We set up an injector station in Uyo on 4 lanes. Now, that injector station was set up to evacuate power from the power plant in Ibom power plant, wholesale, to enough to feed the areas around that neighborhood, which is Osoma, Shelter Afrique, and a warehousing. Now, July last year, we commissioned that injector station. And Osoma in Uyo, a warehousing in Uyo, and Shelter Afrique in Uyo enjoy an average of 18 hours of electricity every blessed day. Fact. Now, where do you have discrepancies? Once in a while, those things will break down, but it's easier to manage. Now, because of the success of the injector station in Uyo, we have almost completed building an injector station at the airport. That injector station will feed the airport and the environs. Uyo Airport, as we speak, since it was built 2 governments ago, I repeat, has been running on generator. And so the first ever that Uyo Airport, which is owned, run, and managed by government 100%, is going to be on national grid. Now, the success of that injector station, move down towards the coastal area. There's another injector station in Ekam, Barenin, where we're setting up, that's a bigger one, that will feed the industrial city of Ibom, Deep Seaport, and all the industries there. Now, if you wait and think you can solve all your problems before you embark on industrialization, I think you would never set up that process to achieve anything. And so what did we do? We decided, look, we have to start somewhere. You grow small, start small and grow big, which is what we are doing. And we are recording milestones. Today, National Bureau of Statistics lists Akwa Ibom State as the 2nd largest destination of foreign direct investment in Nigeria, only second to Lagos State. Now, by our estimation, Lagos State is the commercial capital of Nigeria. So by all ramifications, Akwa Ibom State is the #1 destination for foreign investors. To also buttress this point, a few months ago, in my office, my phone rang. An international media agency called to say, look, from their research, they have noticed that the volume of investment that comes to Africa, Nigeria in Africa, comes to the southeastern part of Nigeria, which is Akwa Ibom State. And they sought to find out why it was so. And I said, look, it is better you come see, test, touch, and not speak English to you so you can believe it. So you can jolly well take a trip and come. And they said, okay, look, they are going to come. I offered to fund that trip for them to come and see, touch, and feel the revolution, the developmental revolution in Akwa Ibom State. They said no, that they were going to come at their own expense. Those guys came at their own expense. They saw, they touched, they felt the developmental strides of Akwa Ibom State government. Now, that wouldn't have been possible if this government wasn't proactive. Now, that's on the other hand of electricity. So if you are talking about industrialization, it is a well-known fact that no industry, no country can survive without good power network. Power network is a Nigerian problem, but Akwa Ibom State is taking the lead. For the first time in the history of Nigeria, I repeat, for the first time in the history of Nigeria, a part of Nigeria enjoys 18 hours average of electricity. Okay. Move down to security. Okay. We talked about security.
I think we have another caller on the line. Hello?
No, but I think, no, sorry, Edna. It's important that we take this caller. You need to hold on these callers. Let's finish each of them before we take the next caller. Edna.
Okay, because Commissioner, we are talking and we look at the time, because if you want to...
Yeah, but see, the program will not be effective if you don't allow us iron out issues and people keep calling. These issues keep piling up. So the only thing to do, rather than let the caller wait, let's finish with this before allow another caller to come. Otherwise, it's not beneficial to the listener.
Okay. Caller, just hold on. Okay, Commissioner, just give it like 1 minute for you to finish with the answer to the question.
Okay, now he talked about security. He talked about the governor of the state being the chief security officer. And I asked, what is happening to the security in Northeast? What is happening to security in Middle Belt, in Benue Plateau, and the rest? Now, how come that the governor of Ekiti State was tear gassed and manhandled if he's the chief security officer? Now, that's the question I want to leave to that caller, because he said that the governor is the chief security officer, and the chief security officer of Ekiti State was manhandled and tear gassed. And remember, I said, look, the chief security officer by constitution is the governor, but hey, does the governor have a police force? No, he doesn't. It's controlled by center. Does the governor have an army? No, it's controlled by the center. Does the governor have a navy? No, it's controlled by the center. So it's just a nominal nomenclature. Now go down to education. I'm sure the caller wasn't listening when I talked about the number of schools we have and the number of schools that we have fixed. It is practically impossible to fix 2,000 schools in 3 under the economic climate. I challenge any part of the world, any state, any government who can achieve that feat. Now, he talked about investment. He talked about bringing an investment, and it was... Now, we are a thoroughbred professional government. And we evaluate business proposals purely benchmarking international best practices, purely benchmarking international standards. Now, if a proposal comes, you must meet the basic requirements. No emotions, because ultimately we don't want to mortgage the future and the future of Akwa Ibom people and the economic future of this state. We talk about Black Rhino. Black Rhino, what is Black Rhino doing? Black Rhino is only taking care of the gas that is wasted in Ibom over the years with independence. Gas is being fled to the injury, to negative consequences to the lives of people. Now we've had an investor who is coming in to help channel that gas that is being wasted away into generating electricity. Now I don't know where government has gone wrong there. Now, so back to the caller who said his investment was rejected. I challenge him to show evidence and show proof. I can give my email address. You can give me documentation to forward their documents to us, and let's evaluate their proposal. What are we doing? None of the industries I told you are government funded. All we are doing is attracting investors. We are looking for investors, especially Akwa Ibom people. The fertilizer factory, the Akwa Ibom son who lives in the United States of America. The rice factory is a consortium of Akwa Ibom people. The syringe factory is Turkish citizens who have come to invest in Akwa Ibom State.
Okay, Commissioner, thank you so much. And let's take this caller. Hello.
evening. My name is Godwin Elijah.
Okay.
Calling from Italy, Parma.
Okay, from Italy. Okay, do you have a question to Commissioner Mbok?
Yes, I only have one question because when I listened to Commissioner, I was a little bit angry, but I want to ask, how many years?
Angry?
Yes. How many years do we need, or did they need, to put Akwa Ibom in the right place? How many years? He said something about 16 years. That they are just in power for 16 years. If they said that giving birth to 16 years is almost finishing university, if I don't make a mistake. How many years do they need to be in power to put a little bit of Akwa Ibom in order? That is the question I want him to answer. How many years do they need to put that a little bit?
Thank you so much. I have to put you up now since that's the Commissioner. I've heard you. Because each question, Commissioner, because of time, we just have about 2 minutes to respond, please. There's a lot of calls piling up for me, please, so they can talk to everybody. Okay, over now to Commissioner Mbok.
Well, to the last caller, I am Commissioner for Information at Akwa Ibom State, and I speak for the government of Governor Ndito that has been here for 3 years. So I'm not in a position to speak for previous governments. I'm here to speak for the government of Akwa Ibom State as of today. And so I can emphatically tell you that, look, as at 2015, when this government took over, the exchange rate, naira to dollar, hovered around 100 naira per dollar. Now, hello?
Yeah, Commissioner, I'm listening to you.
Okay, now, like I said, as at 2015, when this government took over, and then the governor at the center changed, the exchange rate, naira to dollar, hovered around 100 and something naira per dollar. Now, fast forward to later part of 2015, 2016, the exchange rate somersaulted to almost 600 naira per dollar. Now, in this climate, it means that a man who had a business entity that made worth about 6 million naira, automatically his business would have been devalued by almost 50%. Now, so how do you somersault? How do you fast forward an economy to run faster than that? Taking account of the fact that, look, everything is dependent on the exchange rate. So when you had, for instance, a man who had 100,000 naira after 2015, which was times 150, suddenly $100 times 150, suddenly that becomes times 600. That means that he's lost a huge chunk of money. Now, so how do you propel an economy to work faster? Now, what we also tell people is that, look, this government is open to investors. Today, we have an Akwa Ibom son who is living. Luckily, the last caller called in from the United States of America. The guy the investor of the Liza factory in Akwa Ibom son, who lived in the United States of America, earned his income in the United States of America, came back and invested in Akwa Ibom State. So the opportunities are open. It's for us to come back and seek opportunities. Things social media are clearly not the reflection of what happened. Because look, this is politics. People will fabricate all kinds of things to say, oh, just by accident that we have Africa's largest manufacturing company. They're owned by Turkish citizens. It's not by accident that we have a greenhouse that's owned by Mexicans, San Carlos Group. It's not by accident that we have investment to set up digital metering factory in Nigeria. Those are not government property. They trusted this government.
Okay, Commissioner, your time to answer the question is up now. And you got a caller on the line. Hello? Hello, caller?
Okay, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Ita. I'm calling from Germany.
Okay, Ita from Germany. Okay. Mbok, make it short. Here is it. Can you ask your question?
Good afternoon, my honorable commissioner. You're welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello?
Go ahead and talk. Commissioner is hearing you. Just go ahead and talk.
Okay, good. I've been listening to the program, and a brother from America said something about there is no economy that can be developed without electricity. the issue of electricity has been a very big problem because what the commissioner have said that they've planted 4 fields, this. But I believe that Akwa Ibom, the government should do more for the whole of Akwa Ibom should have electricity. But that is not the main question I want to ask. The main question I want to ask is on the educational sector. He said that they've renovated about 400 schools already in Akwa Ibom State, and he made mention about education is free, primary and secondary is free in Akwa Ibom, and the Akwa Ibomites are not really benefiting from it. It's people from the neighboring states that are coming in to benefit from it. So that is the main thing I want to talk about now. If the state government has discovered that people neighboring states are coming in to benefit from the free basic education that the state is providing for the indigenes of Akwa Ibom, then why is it that the state cannot filter those non-indigenes of Akwa Ibom state that they should be paying for their education in Akwa Ibom, not to come and deprive the indigenes of Akwa Ibom from benefiting from this? And another question again is, he also said something about that we have about 2,000 private schools in Akwa Ibom State. Private schools in Akwa Ibom State. Is it not possible for Akwa Ibom State to discourage private schools in order?
Hello, Ita, you need to ask a question, not at this suggestion. But we are on question time. Ask a question.
Okay, the question is that why is it that the government cannot discourage or stop the non-indigenes from other states coming in to come and benefit from the free education that our indigenes supposed to enjoy?
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
That's my question.
Okay, thank you very much. Over to you, Honorable Commissioner. Remember, it's 2 minutes. Answer to question, Bob.
Okay, so allow me to go ahead. So now, reality is that, my good people of Akwa Ibom State, if you train your children and you don't train your neighbor's children, you've not done anything, because your neighbor's children will come hunt your children. And so what have we done? We toyed with the idea when we first had this explosion to say, look, first, let me clear something. The influx of non-indigenes into public schools in Akwa Ibom State is not in any way infringing on the rights and privileges of the citizens of Akwa Ibom State to attend those schools. The only thing we have is that we have an explosion of numbers. And so there are 2 options. As a state, we can decide that, look, let non-indigenous pay to attend these schools. What you have is that they will go back to their state, they don't have education, and we have educated children who can walk free on the streets. And so as a state, because of that reality, we've decided, look, let them come. After all, when Nigeria is an entity as we speak, let them come benefit from this within the bounds of resources. However, hello?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. We are hearing you, sir.
However, there's still a caveat. The caveat is that while you can attend primary school for free, you can attend secondary school for free. When it comes to payment for WAEC fees, Akwa Ibom State government only pays for WAEC fees for indigenes. That's where we draw the demarcation. So every year we spend 600 million naira on the average to pay for WAEC fees for indigenes of Akwa Ibom State only. So at that point, yes, you can attend the school or now all that. But when it comes to WAEC fees, we draw a line there and say, look, at least we have given you that privilege of going to school. Your parents, your state can also take over the mantle and guarantee you that first main meal ticket. WAEC in this part of the world is the first main meal ticket a young child could acquire. And so for an Akwa Ibom child, we have provided you from birth that opportunity. Also that an Akwa Ibom child, when he or she is conceived, during that pregnancy, his or her mother is being catered for free in hospitals. Don't also forget an Akwa Ibom child that is born within the first 5 years of his life in public hospitals, Medicare for him is free. So government effectively caters for an Akwa Ibom child from conception to when he acquires WAEC certificate. I don't know how many governments in Nigeria or any part of the world does that for its people.
Okay.
Now,
Honorable Commissioner, your time is up. So it's a time for a caller now.
Just one quick one. Just one quick one. Just one quick one. Now, the caller talked about electricity. And I can tell you on record, on authority, that
caller, just hold on.
The electricity situation in Akwa Ibom State is better than any part of Nigeria. I can tell you that with authority. Even the Minister for Power can confirm that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner. Now, caller, yes, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Nsika.
Nsika,
my name is Nsika. I'm calling from Lagos.
Okay, Nsika from Lagos. Okay. Do you have a question for Honorable Commissioner? Go ahead. Do you have a question? If you can reduce the volume of maybe your radio or TV, your laptop, I will be better.
My name is Ndito. I am an investment analyst and I'm calling from Lagos. I'm calling from Lagos. I'm an investment analyst.
Ndito, if you don't reduce the volume, I will put you off.
I have a question. You have a question? Yes, I have a question. Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead and ask your question. Okay. Make it brief, please. 1 minute. Zika is gone from Lagos. Zika says he's an investor. Oh, okay. Call back, Zika. Okay, Honorable Commissioner, you can go ahead when the caller comes.
Okay. Now, we're talking about electricity. And I said, I took time. The only challenge we seem to have is that some of the callers are not following the program and they keep taking us back. I spent time to explain the electricity situation in Akwa Ibom State, drawing analogy with the Nigerian situation. And I ended up by saying that today, the electricity situation in Akwa Ibom State is probably the best you can find anywhere because of the efforts of government from the Ibom power plant to the injector stations that government has built and is building.
This call. There's another caller on the line. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Hello? Hello, caller. Can you hear me? Okay, you can call back. Sorry, continue, Honorable Commissioner.
Okay, so as I was saying, that it seems like some of the callers are not following the. I had traced the origin of electricity in Nigeria, bringing it back home to Akwa Ibom State, and I remember talking about the Ibom plant and the injector station and the challenges we've had with electricity. Now, no matter.
I think we got another one now. Hello? It's going off again. All right. This caller from Nigeria really want to speak to you, Honorable Commissioner, because it's the one that's keep calling. Okay, go ahead, Honorable Commissioner Mbok. Hello, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I didn't hear the question.
Yeah, the caller tried to call again. Oh, God. Okay, let's see. Hello? Hello, can you hear us?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, tell us your name, where you calling from.
Hello?
Hello? I'm hearing you.
Yeah, tell us your name, where are you calling from? What's your name?
My name is Templo Toro.
Okay, Templo Toro.
From Germany.
Calling from Germany, Templo, okay. Do you have a question for the Honorable Commissioner?
Yes, I have some questions for the Commissioner.
Okay. Please go on. This is a question time, not discussion time. If you can just ask
not discussion time.
Exactly,
Yeah, not discussion
question time. Yeah, thank you.
First of all, Mr. Commissioner, Mugomitete, Kenafu Freddy, Adiedi, Ibaken Radio, Ndito Akwaibom. My first question is, what are your functions in that office as a Commissioner for Information? because I want to say it frankly. People are writing here, Lai Muhammad. You know, when you are talking to people like us, we are talking to people in this forum. We are listening to you, we are following you. So we want to hear from you the exact thing you do when you gather information from anywhere. What do you do about the information that you have gathered? How do you go about that? We have 31 state, 31 local government in Akwa Ibom state. So I say I'm the information regarding all this local government. But Betty Burgett Mebu, for better information, say Gaminam. But Betty Burgett Borokara, better information, say Gaminam. But Betty Burgett Ibno, better information, say Gaminam, and all those stuffs. So we want to hear exactly from you, not to be going from left and right. We are here in the dog at the Monsidema Bauton Gumbo. Act immediately. We are not keeping quiet to hear you telling us things that we don't want to hear. That is the question. So the other question is, how can you run an airport with a generator over the years and thinking that you'll be making profit? It can never work. So as we are laying our emphasis on electricity, it is time for the state to invest more on electricity, to do more on electricity. Engineers get Akwa Ibom state. Issue, solar power, solar system. I can make it run the airport effectively. So many people in the state, even people that can come out from outside the state, invest on electricity so that we have a steady power supply. Even if we don't have in Nigeria, I think in our own state we can do better. Then other states will copy from there. So the Honorable Commissioner for Information, when we listen to things like this, he's in a manner we will give them.
Okay, that's all I tell you, Toro.
Which the airport, the way the airport was running, I didn't like it.
Okay, also I tell you, Toro, listen to Honorable Commissioner respond.
No problem, thank you.
Okay, Honorable Commissioner, over to you. 2 minutes, remember. Hello, sir. Sir, we can't hear you anymore. We lost communication with Honorable Commissioner. Okay, can we go on break? Why Commissioner trying to fix volume? Can we go on break? And then there's somebody I've been calling from Nigeria, that engineer.
Akwa Ibom State has a new face today, and we call it the new Akwaibom. Go and tell the world. No. Greetings. We've been singing the song before. Yeah. Time to sing it again. Yeah. You know, say we've been telling you this story before. This story, story, Time to tell you again. Yeah, the story. Hear it. So open up your mind. So yeah, this is story, Okay, hear me now. Akwa Ibom is now the pride of a nation. If you doubt me, brother, just come and see. Akwa Ibom is the fastest growing state in Nigeria. If you doubt me, sister, please come and see. Come and see our trailblazing state. Model for free and compulsory education. Come and see urban and rural electrification. Come and see 20th anniversary specialist hospital. Come and see best quality roads with flyovers. We are ultra modern Olympic size stadium. Come and see my son. Come and see my son. My son Dudu. My son Du Foro. My son me. Oh, Walandia Mendu.
Okay, sorry, Commissioner, we lost you.
Yes, ma'am. It's network.
Okay. There was a question. I remember. Do you want to?
I was talking about the power situation at the airport, and he was preferring solutions to the power situation. Fortunately, we have gone past that stage, and that's why I talked about the callers not following the program. Remember when we talked about
that's
power,
what I'm saying. If there's a question, maybe those one they join late. If there's a question you have already talked about or you already answered, and then people keep on calling, I think they should have to go and then replay the program and then listen again, because
because I've talked about the power situation already in the state. I've talked about what we've done to sort out the problem of the power at the airport. So he didn't get that bit. He just assumed that the airport is still running on generator. Yes, it was running at the point. But hey, this government, like I said, I only speak for this government in 3 years. Akwa Ibom State government in the last 3 years.
Exactly.
I wasn't in the government. I wasn't speaking for government of Akwa Ibom State before 3 years ago. You understand? So I can tell you authoritatively what this government has done in the last 3 years, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. Okay. You understand? And then we identified that problem that, look, this airport cannot run profitably. Don't forget that our governor was a businessman who worked in the banking sector. And so he understands, he has business acumen. And so what we've done, we identified the issue, and we are tackling the issue by one. Power situation in Akwa Ibom State, quote me, is better than any part of Nigeria today. Courtesy the efforts of government of today through the Ibom power plant and this government is building, and investment in infrastructure. Yet it is practically impossible to achieve. One of the callers talked about having 24 hours election. We are getting to that point, but the reality is that state governments do not control distribution network. State government do not control distribution lines. So it is, if no matter what the state government does, it still goes back to the central government to ensure that the central government fixes distribution and the distribution companies do their jobs effectively. That is the only time you can say, oh, this is working. And so that leads me back to, why did we build injector stations? The reason for building injector stations was to harvest power in wholesale from the generating point to closest to as possible to the distribution point for ease of distribution, and there we can isolate issues of distribution and tackle them one by one.
Okay, Commissioner, if I should ask you a question, do you think that Akwa Ibom State at home adopt this solar energy? Because it's like everywhere, even in Nigeria himself.
Now let me shock you. Don't go far. Have you been to Akwa? When last did you come to Akwa Ibom? No, because I want to ask a question. It's not. Don't take it a bad way. I want to ask a question.
Oh, I think now, the person I want to thank God for him, Commissioner. Sorry to cut you up. I'm going to give you time to talk about that. Let's pick this person. I've been hanging for a long time. Hello. Hello, caller. Yeah.
Hello.
I could come more.
Yeah. My name is Ndito. I'm from Lagos. I'm an investment analyst.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Do you have a question? We need a question, not this or just all conversation to them, but this is question time.
Yes. Okay. My question is first and foremost, I will sincerely appreciate the effort of Governor Emmanuel and his team in the foreign direct investment.
Okay.
Yeah, and because personally I've been involved in as an investment analyst, bringing in investment in the States. I've been involved in the HSP market in Biagon. It's is an investment I brought in, and there's another estate in Eket real estate project that I also brought in. And sincerely speaking, Akwa Ibom people were great people, and I believe we should all come together, whether you're in UK, Germany, US, try and direct investment into Akwa Ibom State. And my question to Honorable is that having gone through different foreign direct investment seminars and been participating in investments all over Africa, I found out that what is involved in investment and industrialization in Kenya, in Rwanda, and Ethiopia is that the government established what they call industrial parks, where any investors that want to come, they go to the industrial park to establish their factory. It's called plug and play. It's called plug and play. That's what I think the government should further look into, because investors now are moving out, manufacturers are moving out from China. About 85 million factories want to move out of China. So they are looking for the best place that they can establish their factories. And they don't want to come to an area where it will take them so long to register their company and establish their presence. They want to, once they come to Akwa Ibom State, there's an industrial park where they can just go and set up their factory and operate, maybe through leases, 50 years leases. That's the best practice in Africa right now. And I believe Akwa Ibom State has a great chance to get in more investors into the state. If in the three senatorial districts, an industrial park can be established, and it's something that the government should look into. Okay. Once again, I congratulate Governor Emmanuel and your team, Honorable, your team. You are doing well. I really appreciate that, and thank you. That's what I just want to contribute. You want to contribute, not to ask question. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. Anyway, you've been hanging around for so long. Wow. Honorable Commissioner, today you have somebody that is thanking you, and not throwing the question today. Somebody is thanking you.
Well, we are servants of the people, good people of Akwa Ibom State, and so we are here to serve. But let me quickly add that I really want to appreciate the last caller for reminding me. Akwa Ibom State today has an industrial park in town. That is where the plastic manufacturing company is. And that's where, hello, please, can you have the caller to hold on?
Yeah, this caller gonna hold on. Caller, you have to hold on.
Let's hold on. Now, today, Akwa Ibom State has an industrial park in Itam, where the plastic manufacturing factory is, and where we have moved the pencil and toothpick factory is to. That is one. Now, go down the coastal area. We have the Economas Industrial City, close to the Ibom Industrial, the Ibom Deep Sea Port, where we have the industrial city. So, if you look at Akwa Ibom State, investment are not done in a scattergun approach. Investment is done purely looking at factors that affect the industry. Proximity to basic amenities and security. So I appreciate the last caller. The good news. Hello.
Hello, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so the good news is that we are already thinking and responded to what the last caller had said.
Okay. Wait, you have a caller on the line. Hello. Excuse me. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Yes. What's your name? This is the last caller, please, for today. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Andy. I'm calling from the US. Andy Roland. The first one, please. Honorable Commissioner, I want to take you up on this energy generation.
Hello, excuse me, Andy. This is a question time, not conversation time.
Yes,
question
No,
time.
I just want it's a question, but let me elaborate it a bit. Give me 1 minute.
Because the time is against us now, that's why I'm saying if you can just ask the question, that would be better. Just question.
Generation doesn't have in Akwa Ibom doesn't have to be on national grid. The regulatory system in Nigeria has permitted 1 to 1,000 megawatt to be generated within a state. So if Akwa Ibom is able to have an investor that generates a renewable energy, you don't need to hook it up on national grid. So I'm thinking, why is the state not considering that?
Okay, that's your question.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. That's the last call for today. Okay. Honorable Commissioner, please.
Well, my response to that is that I would appreciate the last caller. I want to appreciate his ingenuity in bringing up that suggestion. And I also want to throw a challenge back to him that if you've got an investor, if you have the technology, if you have the wherewithal to make that happen, become a reality, then please feel free to buzz me and I'll lead you up straight to His Excellency the Governor, and then we kickstart the process of making that happen. Now, realities on ground are different from theories written on paper. And so we talk about realities on ground. And so if the last caller has opportunity, has the wherewithal, the finances, the technology, the skills to make it happen, we will gladly open our doors. We are looking at practical solutions for practical problems.
Okay. Honorable Commissioner, I want to take you on that because so many people have called me and then told me that we may have been investors CD Akwa Ibom. They don't even allow them to see the real people handle this office handle this investment. That sometimes my idea they say, okay, you bring this maybe 10%, 20%, 50%, whatever, and then that's it. Some they will not even give them any access for anything. When people like Akwaibom outside Nigeria, maybe can pause for them the Akwaibom and they are blocking. Because I remember one time one man calling when we were having a commissioner for housing and special duties. He wanted to go and see one commissioner, and every day he could demand the commissioner is like he had to pay some money, pay there before he may get demand at last, but it was very difficult. So when people sit down here, like some of us in abroad, can possibly forget on and we are being blocked. So what do we do? I don't like
Edna,
your own. You say your door is open, fine, but how can we get to that your door that is open? Is always the problem.
Edna, let me say emphatically, it is false. It is not true that anybody demands any payment for anybody to come to set up investment. Now, how did the Turkish citizens come to set up the syringe factory? How did the metering factory come about? How did the coconut refinery come about? How did the plastic factory come about? How did the fertilizer factory come about? How did the rice factory come about? And I can go on and name them. Now, reality is that, see, we are a government, a responsible government. In business proposal, there's something called due diligence. And there's a minimum requirement that you must meet. Because here we are talking about the economy, the fortunes of Akwa Ibom people. So there are no emotions in doing that. You must meet the minimum requirement. Nobody's going to ask you to pay. That's why the government of Akwa Ibom State today, the Ministry of Investment and Commerce and Investment, the government of Akwa Ibom State has also set up a technical committee for foreign direct investment. And a very senior person who has concerned. The government has also set up a technical committee on due process to get these things streamlined. Benchmarking, remember I said, benchmarking international standards and international best practices. So we're not going to follow to say, oh, because it's out of emotions, you go and get into wrong investment. Now, we will not do that because we are a responsible government. Every investor, I talked about the fertilizer factory, he's an Akwa Ibom son. He lives in the United States of America. I can give his phone number to talk to him and ask him his experience. Now he's running a fertilizer factory. 100%. So all we gave him was land and security and good road and investment climate. So it is erroneous, it is false, it's untrue for anybody to say anybody asked them to pay any money. I am here. I'm sure you know how you got your through, and you get through to me even on WhatsApp. I'm on social media and respond to everybody. That's why I'm Commissioner for Information. So if you have a problem accessing any part of government, my doors are open. That's why Akwa Ibom State government also opened a citizen center. If you go to our website, there's a live chat function, which within hours of 8, 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., if you drop a chat, somebody will respond to you. So it is not true. And then there's also the email, where you can send an email, it comes to my office. People will respond to you. See, it is false, it is untrue that anybody asks anybody to pay money to see anybody. How did the talk get in?
Okay. There's a caller, I think, somewhere, unless Honorable Commissioner want me to pick the call. Because I said that was the last caller.
It's up to you. I can't even hear what the guy is saying.
He hasn't said anything because I put him on hold. Because I said I need to find out, because for me, the Roland was my last caller. So he's asking.
Yes.
I should ask you.
So, but you see, the last point you made, Edna, was very important because that's a very false impression. It is not true. I will repeat. It's false. If I challenge anybody who says anybody asked him to make anything, name names, bring documentation. I am here. You have my email address. You have my phone number. Bring out the person. I can tell you that is not true. How did we get the syringe fact? How did we get all the other companies coming in to set up in Akwa State?
Okay.
How did we become #1 in terms of foreign direct investment in Nigeria if it were that difficult?
Okay. Now, you are lucky. You are a lucky person. Commissioner would like to speak to you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, it's me again.
Yeah.
Because the network from the commissioner was interrupting, so he didn't answer my question.
What's your name? A lot of people calling.
I'm Templeton, calling from Germany.
Oh, Templeton. What was the question again?
Yeah, the question was, I was asking the commissioner, how did he gather information throughout the 31 local government? And when he gathered this information, what does he do about them?
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner is hearing you now. That's the end of the call for today. The phone is off. Okay, Commissioner.
Okay, Temple. Well, let me give you, I need to give you a handout on how the information machinery works in the state. Now, as Commissioner for Information, as I've been here with you over 1 hour, I'm not watching TV.
Exactly.
I'm not listening to radio. I'm not reading newspapers. Now, so the question is, which you validly asked, is how do I get information? Now, the structure is set up such that we have information of people called information officers in every ministry, department, or agency of government. Now, these guys are the ears and eyes of the Commissioner for Information. And so they have a collation point, whereby once I get off this phone call with you, I'm going to log into that collation point and get updated what has past 1 hour been off talking to you on this program. Now, that is how you get information updated. And then also, nothing happens without coming through that information funnel, which gets to the commissioner and where we can manage information and disseminate information. And then if you ask me, what do I do with the information? Part of what I do with the information is what I'm doing here, talking to you, telling you what we do and how we do it, and how we're going to do the next move to the next. So that is how we do it. That's how we continue to do it. And then, of course, it's also, technology has also made life easy. As I talk to you now, I'm not in Akwa State. I'm outside the state on official assignment. But hey, everything that is happening in state as we speak, they're all on top of my fingers.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner. But me, I have a question to ask. The last question I'm going to ask is that, do you think that His Excellency has done enough for the people of Akwa Ibom State? The vote of Akwa Ibom people again, and yet the middle governor?
Well, my answer is emphatically yes. And I tell you why. If you do a scan of the 36 states in Nigeria, I would challenge anybody to show one state government that has constructed more roads than Akwa Ibom State in the last 3 years. I would ask anybody to show me one other government that has attracted the largest, the volume of foreign direct investment into the state more than Akwa Ibom State. I'll also ask to show me one state that has set up more industries than Akwa Ibom State. I don't know how many states in Nigeria that have free and compulsory basic education up to payment of YQ for their indigents. And on top of that, salaries are regular. Salaries are regular in Akwa Ibom, it's taken for granted. And don't also forget that it's probably the only state, I stand to be corrected, this government of Akwa Ibom State, because of its transparency and accountability, is one of probably the only state that publishes audited financial statements of monies that income, inflow, and outflow of his income. Now, also add to that, when the president of Nigeria published his midterm report, Akwa Ibom State government contributed 36 pages of that document, larger than any MDA within the federal structure. Now, those are indices that could go on and on and on. And so you find out that from agriculture to industrialization to healthcare, I mentioned the number of hospitals that we fixed. We are going to a process where we are computerizing our industry. To sports and youth and sports development. Even at the mundane level, Akwa Ibom State government qualified Nigeria for the World Cup. When Nigeria as a country was struggling to look for a decent playing field to host the Super Eagles, they had to resort to Akwa Ibom State. Akwa Ibom State hosted the Super Eagles to the World Cup. First time in the history of Nigeria that the national team qualify for the World Cup rancor-free. There were no hassles about tickets, no hassles about...
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah,
yeah.
Thank you so much,
so
Honorable Commissioner, for joining us today, because I didn't even know my time is in the meeting of Africa already. I want to say thank you so much for being on the program today on a short notice. Thank you so much. We will have you again very soon for more. Thank you so much for joining us.
Call me. I'll gladly. I love talking to Akwaibom in the diaspora.
But the only thing they keep saying that our His Excellency doesn't regard us. But that one, here the equals anything. But thank you so much for joining us today, sir.
No, Edna, sorry, don't go without clearing that. Now, if His Excellency, I am the mouthpiece of His Excellency the Governor. I represent the Governor. I speak for government of Akwa State. Now, if the government of Akwa State, now government is a total package. It's not just an isolated figure. If the government of Akwa State did not respect and regard its citizens in diaspora, I won't be here sitting for 1 hour talking to you, not once, not twice, and my colleagues have been on this program. So it is erroneous for anybody to say, oh, His Excellency does not. He's a busy man. He's traveling the world marketing Akwa State, trying to bring investment. We are his lieutenants. We are the ones to go there and talk on his behalf when his time does not allow him to do that. And like I promised you, when time allows, at an appropriate time, he will find time to be here.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, that was the Commissioner for Information today on the program. And I want to say thank you for all of you for the watch the program. And then, like I said, this program break. So it's back now. So I hope to see you again next week, same time, same station. So it's also on Ndito Akwaibom. So then we back and can you don't know about see and to make in 1-on-1 epono came back a quite more ya afon. It's also on 80. Asiere. Good night.
In my sorrow, so listen, yes. See, so we got everything in Akwa Ibom State. A fetal, flowing with milk and honey. So every man, every woman, every child of Akwa Ibom blood, we should live as one big family. Cause united we stand, and divided we fall. So come and see the new Akwa Ibom, the people of the world. So mineral resources, so human resources, so we thank God Almighty for making our state and people so special.
Come and see International Airport with MRO. Come and see Ibaka Sipo, Ibom Tropicana, Ultramodern E-Library, webjacking drainage system.
Heritage Television. Promoting African culture and heritage at its best. From talk shows that concern you to both local and international news that relates to you. From grassroots football to African children's programs. Heritage Television. We cover your social and special events like weddings, birthdays, church anniversaries and so on, and broadcast them live on our apps and online. Heritage Television. Broadcasting everything about culture and heritage. Heritage Television. We've got it covered. Do download our apps on both Android, iOS, and Windows mobile platform. Heritage Television.